Given the privilege with my colleague here of co-chairing this conference. I know that the vision of recovery, the recovery approach, and the idea of a recovery journey is very well known in this borough, and there's so much going on here, as is evident by the people in this room. And today's conference is going to be different from previous conferences because you'll not only have a chance to talk about recovery, but at the market taster stalls, there'll be an opportunity to experience certain aspects of the recovery process, and people who have really turned their lives around will be sharing some of the things that are meaningful to them.
Hello everyone. I'd like to tell you a bit about the path my life's taken over the past 3 years. Can you all hear me okay? Yes. In 2006, I joined Bromley Mind, having spent years with debilitating symptoms of anxiety and depression. This had led to a lack of self-confidence and self-esteem. I took part in several of Mind's courses, which I found to be very useful, and I felt that I'd made progress. Shortly after the last course, I was asked if I'd like to join a recovery group. On one hand, I felt that I'd had enough of group work, and I didn't really want to commit to attending for 20 weeks. But I also realised the value of having structure in my life and the opportunity to interact with people. The venue was a church hall in Orpington, which helped me to feel more of a part of the wider community and less a service user. This was a significant point in my recovery process. There were about 6 people in the group, all at different stages of recovery, and 2 facilitators. For the first few meetings, I mainly listened and observed until I felt more able to contribute. The meetings were quite unstructured and informal, with the facilitators playing a fairly subtle part in the running of the group. They also contributed on a personal level, which made them integral to the group. In this environment, I began to feel relaxed and confident enough to open up. During the 20 weeks, we were asked if we would like any local organisations to provide a speaker, and as I was looking for a job at the time, I thought it would be useful to have Derek Hunt from WorkNet to come along and give a talk, and that really proved useful to me in the future, and that's really why I'm here now. Towards the end of the 20 weeks, I was asked if I'd like to co-facilitate a future group. I had a mixed reaction: surprise, doubt, excitement, and then doubt again. What were the options? To say that I couldn't do it, to avoid anxiety and panic, or to say yes, knowing that I'd have to find a way to deal with the symptoms. I decided to take the opportunity, and in 2007, after some initial training, I co-facilitated a recovery group, which was held in Bromley. Most of the group found it to be a very powerful experience and quite addictive. People knew that for an hour and a half each week they had a safe space in which to speak about whatever was important to them. Some of the issues discussed were medication, panic attacks, and hearing voices. People were able to discuss these concerns in a supportive environment. Since then, I've become more involved, as Judy said, in recovery, as part of the training group, the operations group, and recovery net. Although I'm still coping with feelings of anxiety, which you can probably see I'm shaking at the moment, particularly on occasions like today. This is offset by increased self-esteem and self-confidence. I have to still remind myself constantly to accept challenges rather than to avoid them. I think this is helping me to become a stronger person. I also have a job, as Judy said, as a service development worker, along with Stuart, Julia, Rob and Colin, who are here today, the service user involvement team from the Advocacy project. Rob was also a member of a previous recovery group and of a follow-on group, which collectively decided to continue on a slightly less formal level to maintain the support and social side of the meetings. We hope to run 2 new groups this year, one in June in Bromley and one later in the year possibly in Orpington. There are some leaflets dotted around the hall, and if anyone is interested, would they please contact Gina Benjamin. To end, I'd like to leave you with this thought: to reach distant shores, you have to leave the harbour. Thank you.
Today and see all these market taster stores where people from Bromley who feel involved in the recovery movement are sharing what they've been doing. And I think over the last 4 or 5 years, we really have made great strides in Bromley with the leadership developed and the participation of so many voluntary groups, and even the statutory sector is getting involved. I think it was 2004 that Judy Chambers spoke here at a conference like this, and since then the whole recovery thing has taken off in Bromley. Now there are so many resources available, not only here, but also internationally. There's so much stuff on the web about recovery, so many recovery stories, films, and all this. My concern is just to get this out to more people, because there are still many people with mental health problems in this world that haven't heard anything about this, that aren't engaged in any kind of recovery group or process. So to me, the big challenge and the exciting thing is how do we get it across and offer it to all those people.